Is a Don Menza chart written for the Buddy Rich Big Band, and it's got a really smoking hot sax solo in the middle of it, and some really awesome drumming stuff that Colton's going to do. You're going to hear Colin on the tenor and Hayden on the Berg, as well as Colton over there on the drums. This is Groovin Hard. How about Jared on the high notes of the trumpet too? Yeah, good job. I think maybe a little less piano in the house. Let's see. The next chart we're going to do is kind of a medley of holiday favorites called Big Band Holiday. And you're going to hear Peter on the trombone as well as Hayes on the alto. Let's see, this one's got like Jingle Bells and Frosty the Snowman and what else is there? Hark the Herald. And all I want for, I'll be home for Christmas. Not all I want for Christmas. We already got our 2 front teeth, so we're good there. Anyway, this is a cool little melody called Big Band Holiday. We hope you enjoy it. All right, before we do our next tune, we're going to switch basses and bass amps here, so give them a little time to get switched. There were, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had all-state jazz auditions, and we were very, I wouldn't say fortunate, because they worked really hard. We were honored to have 2 all-state jazz members selected, and so if those guys will stand up. We've got Colin Johnson. I will tell you that okay, so I tell the guys that like Barry sax is the hardest in jazz, is the hardest instrument to make an all-state because they only pick one in the whole state, and Hayes made Barry, so it's like unbelievable. But they take 2 tenor saxes out of the whole state. So, no, both those guys, like, to make saxophone, like, there's a gazillion great saxophone players out there that try out for all-state jazz, and for those guys to make it, it's just, it's an unbelievable accomplishment, so I'm proud of them. In addition to that same day we had tryouts for the Oklahoma Youth Jazz Ensemble, and we had several kids make that as well, which is another great honor. And they're going to have concerts coming up. When's your concert? Yeah. Well, we're not going to go to New Orleans. Okay. Well, stay tuned for the Oklahoma Youth Jazz Ensemble. They're going to play in New Orleans, but you're welcome to go with that. Let's see, we had Hayes again, and we had Colton over there. He made the drums. And Jack over here on piano. And that's it, right? Okay, great. Sit down. Those guys, once again, it's like a big honor to make that. They had a lot of people try out, and I'm really proud of those guys for like spending extra time and doing extra stuff. Okay, I think we've got the bass switched. You wanna go. Electronics. Okay, so this next tune we're going to do is called No Spring Chicken. Very inappropriate for holiday, but we're going to do it anyway. You're going to hear solos by Hayden, Colin, Kris, Hayes, and Carson on the drums. So lots of solos on this one. This is Chris Berg's No Spring Chicken. All right, thanks again. Switching the bases again here. Before we play our last tune, I just want to say what a pleasure it's been to be back in Yukon. I was here for 17 years, these many years ago. I went to Moore for 8 years, and then Piedmont for 1. I had the opportunity to come back, and I'd like to thank Mr. Rivera for hiring me and allowing me to come back and work with the jazz bands again. I don't know if you guys know the tradition of Yukon High School Jazz, but it's like, it goes way past my time, like 30, 40 years ago. Wayne Kuhn was the director here, and he had like unbelievably awesome bands, like his, and he had lots of kids that went on to play professionally and be jazz professors and all that stuff. Like Brian Worrell, who's in charge of the UCO jazz program, he was a Yukon High School graduate. He played in the jazz band here, and there's lots of other guys around that play. And anyway, it's a rich tradition that these guys are going to try to live up to, and I'm sure that they will. They've done a great job for me, and I really enjoyed working with them. And as I said about jazz too, we've got lots of stuff in store for the spring. We'll play 2 or 3 more contests, and have another concert at the end of the year, and hope you guys come to that. A lots of new music and lots of improv and lots of jazz. So thanks again to Mr. Rivera. Thanks to Wes for putting up with me with the bass thing and for hosting us for tonight. And his auditorium staff, they're awesome. It's great to have this venue to play in, and we appreciate it. And thanks to the administration and principals and assistant principals for all their support. Ms. Barlow came out the other day, and we've had 3 or 4 of the assistants come out and just kind of listen. And I guess they're checking on me, making sure I'm doing well. But anyway, they sit there and tap their toe for a little bit. We entertain them, so want to thank them for that. And thanks again to Ms. Workin for playing a lovely keyboard bass tonight. And I'm not going to talk anymore. I think we've got the bass switched. So we're going to close our portion, our winter concert, off with one of my favorites, a Chili Pepper Christmas. It's a Latin medley of Christmas tunes, once again. And you're going to hear several solos on this as well. Let's see, we've got Hayes again, and Titus on the alto. Kris again on the trumpet. Colton on the drums. Carson on the timbales. And we would have had Gabe, but he was quarantined tonight.
Oh no.
It was very, I feel bad for Gabe. Anyway, this is a Chili Pepper Christmas. Thanks again for coming out, and let's do it again in the spring. Thanks again for coming out. We really appreciate it, and we hope you have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. God bless. Have a great night. See ya in the spring.